Alright, it's time for some more Starcraft 2. Welcome back, everyone. My name is LaughNgamez, and here we have ourselves an epic TvP, I imagine. We are on the map Eternal Empire. That's the first fact of this game. The second fact of this game is that we've got probably, I'd say, the best foreign Protoss at the minute. It's ShoWTimE. And in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have got uThermal. uThermal, always fun to watch, and I just thought, you know what, uThermal, ShoWTimE, I cast a game on the channel between them that was a little bit bananas, a little bit crazy, not too long ago. And I thought, yeah, let's check it out again. uThermal, he's a top Terran. ShoWTimE, he's a top Protoss. But I'd say ShoWTimE's probably the favorite this game, but I would definitely not count out crazy uThermal. And so let's take a look. We're up with Eternal Empire being the map. We know that it could be a little bit of a spicy one. Yeah, it's just good to be casting some pro Starcraft 2. I usually try and do like an Alpha Star video and then do some pro Starcraft 2. Variety is the spice of life, they say. And right now we have got ShoWTimE just going to be being a jerk with his probe. SDV hits the probe's shield with its drill. And then, yeah, ShoWTimE just going for a Cyber Core first. Not too odd on a map like Eternal Empire. Then he'll get up his Nexus right after. Take note, Protoss players. uThermal trying to chase down this pesky probe with his SDV. Keep jabbing away at it. Reaper's now on the way out for uThermal. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can try and hit 50 likes on this video, that would be absolutely amazing before this game starts to heat up a little bit. Alright, so, Adept being chrono boosted out by ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE is a player who's got very good Adept positioning when it comes to dealing with that early Reaper, I believe. uThermal behind that going for one Marine. He's getting up a bunker. He's already got his 2 depots done in his wall, which is a little bit interesting. I guess this is a way to avoid having the reactor immediately in the wall, or why uThermal did this, I really don't know. That's one of life's great questions. Reaper for uThermal, now shooting ShoWTimE's natural base, just like, hey, I'm here. That probe that pops down the ramp, probably going to want to turn around and get away from there, seeing as how that Reaper would definitely pick it off if given the opportunity. But this is why ShoWTimE went for the Cyber Core first, because it allows you to have out that early unit, and then the early follow-up unit to push the Reaper away. Behind this, ShoWTimE had a probe hanging out in the top left-hand side of the map. It was his scouting probe, I believe. He was worried the Reaper was going to come in and chase it down. And it looks like that little guy will get to safety, however. Reaper for uThermal is being controlled with incredible detail here, as we see him just gliding that boy around. Right now he's focusing on macro and other things, but I'm sure he'll be active with that Reaper again, wait for the right time, maybe jump into ShoWTimE's base. All the while dealing with this pesky Adept in his base. ShoWTimE, very small little detail there. He knows his Adept is about to shade out. She's taking a bunch of damage, but she fires the one shot on that Marine just to soften it up, because why not? It cost him nothing. He got a little bit of damage done, and that's something that you can look at. It's a little detail like that in StarCraft 2 that really tells you that a pro gamer is good. uThermal comes in, he sees the Twilight Council. He probably, after seeing the count of Stalkers, is going to say, hey, you know what? This is probably a Blink Stalker play. And that's a safe assumption, but oh boy, we have got uThermal going crazy. And this is why I wanted to cast a uThermal game. He is going for a fusion core against ShoWTimE. Is this going to be a battle cruiser rush? Oh my god, that would be mental against someone like ShoWTimE. I mean, I dig it if that's got to be what he's going to go for, right? Like, advanced ballistics would be too far out there. He'd already be building a Liberator if he was doing that. And there we have it. Battle cruiser on the way for uThermal. That's a little bit nutty. Siege tank on the way next. Blink is getting chrono boosted out for ShoWTimE. He's getting his third base up, securing that. If we backtrack a little bit, we'll see he started that third at about the 4-minute mark, which is a very, very good time for the Protoss, having a strong economy. ShoWTimE might be wondering a little bit, like, where's the harassment, uThermal? That Hellion and Reaper did dive in. They managed to get a probe before getting cleaned up. So not a lot. But, yeah. ShoWTimE's probably like, yeah, where's the harassment, uThermal? Where's the mine drop? Where's whatever else? In reality, it's a little bit delayed because uThermal has gone for a battlecruiser rush, and battlecruisers take a very long time to build. Siege tanks are getting out for uThermal too, though. He's making a very high marine count as well to help buffer to deal with these stalkers. Marines and tanks surprisingly good against stalkers, even without stim. Yamato cannons being researched for uThermal. That goes to show that he's probably going to be committing to more BCs than just this amount. The battlecruiser teleports in, however, ShoWTimE sees it. That pylon was in perfect position. That's not what uThermal really wanted. He didn't want this battlecruiser to be spotted right away. But now it has been. uThermal just going to have to settle for killing off this pylon, it looks like. Battlecruiser flying by that observer. If uThermal realized that, he could scan and kill it. Probably pretty hard to see, though, from uThermal's perspective. An observer just hanging out over there. uThermal, though, he is going to be getting out this extra battlecruiser, getting out the Yamato cannon, so he can start getting those guaranteed pickoffs. And he is going into bio behind this, so it's not like uThermal's going full-on mech, which makes me very happy. Tool around with the battlecruisers, but don't go into mech behind it, and that's exactly what we're seeing uThermal do. He's saying, right, I'm going to make the start of the game a little bit crazy, but then I'm going to have a strong bio follow-up. He's already got his third base done. He can float that over if he needs to. Forge is on the way for ShoWTimE. So he'll be able to get that +1 attack going, make his stalkers deal a little bit more damage to things like battlecruisers. uThermal's moving out on the map with his army. He sees those stalkers outside of the sensor tower. He's actually going to try and jump on top of them, but ShoWTimE's paying attention. So he'll be able to micro, get as much value as he can against that. Extra battlecruiser teleports in for uThermal. Going to be hanging out at the natural. This is forcing ShoWTimE to make even more and more stalkers, which honestly isn't a bad thing. The battlecruiser's forcing uThermal to go into stock, or forcing ShoWTimE to go into stalkers, when in reality, stalkers aren't very good against marauders and marines, so ShoWTimE's follow-up is perfectly suited to deal with the counter that ShoWTimE is making. uThermal, he's getting up his third base, so reasonably timed, a little bit delayed of course because of the battlecruiser rush, but that's already fully saturated. He's got a good worker count. His bio is, of course, a little bit delayed, but he's making mines, he's getting up all of his production, his 1-1's on the way. ShoWTimE, interestingly enough, elected to go for armor, so he wants those very tanky charge lots as opposed to attack. But I actually like this position for uThermal. The BCs do seem to have thrown ShoWTimE off a little bit. As the Terran, he's on a very strong economy. ShoWTimE's just getting up his 4th, he's just getting up his extra forge, whereas uThermal's got his 1-1 already on the way. We see Templar Archives is on the way for ShoWTimE. I do like this. Psystorm is always a good tool. ShoWTimE not a player who skipped it too often, I don't think. And right now we take a look. ShoWTimE loads those Templar up into his prism, waiting to drop some good Psystorms. These BCs all the while are just forcing such an amount of stalkers to be kept at home for ShoWTimE. So many stalkers have to be kept at home due to these battlecruisers. uThermal just kind of like, yeah, these stalkers, they completely have to hang out here in case these BCs move in. ShoWTimE sees the BCs. uThermal knows the BCs are there. Or he might know that ShoWTimE knows. uThermal, he's hanging out with his bio, though, going to be able to start engaging these charge lots. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a Ghost Academy go down soon for the Terran. EMP, very good against the composition that ShoWTimE has, but man, uThermal does have to be careful. As we see, this bio's out on the map, it's got to run away though, but there's a Templar full of prisons, full of Templar that are going to have Storm in a matter of seconds. There is no Storm just yet though, so a bit of an anti-timing from ShoWTimE. Now there's going to be Storm. We see sentries toss down force fields to buy a bit of time, but wow, uThermal very confident, moving forward, teleports his BCs, and they can drop a Yamato cannon on the prism if they get in range of it, and that's a guaranteed kill, so that's actually huge. And these BCs are actually just such a force in this army that they will completely rout ShoWTimE. And uThermal, he's up on supply. He's got the battle cruisers, which ShoWTimE needs a high stalker count to deal with. And that was actually a really great fight for uThermal. ShoWTimE does have mass zealots now, so the bio's going to be in trouble. Those Widow Mines really need to burrow. tanks are getting set up too to help out, but I think it is mainly about the Widow Mines to help out. Psystorm drops on the bio doing work. The tanks are getting shots off, but the Zealots are cleaning them up. The Stalkers are doing what they can, but it does look like uThermal is going to be able to push most of this army back. A big Zealot Warpin is going to get on top of the bio that's rather red, but what a great fight there from uThermal. The 2 BCs staying alive. Are they going to drop a Yamato cannon on that Prism? No, not yet. uThermal maybe should have done that. But wow, ShoWTimE's supply just plummets. He's got to warp in more Stalkers to try and hold on. He's got just not a lot to his name now. What a crazy game from uThermal. Battlecruiser rushing Protoss. Battlecruiser rushing basically the best foreign Protoss player is mental. We take a look. uThermal, he's going home. He's going into Ghost. He's also got his Battlecruisers still alive. Keep that in mind. They can always harass later on. They can go home and get repaired. uThermal is getting up his 4th base too, which is nice to see. The fact that he is going home, though, is going to give ShoWTimE a chance to recover in this match. ShoWTimE's even confident enough to throw up a 5th base. He's going to be able to start rebuilding up his supply, and the game is going to continue on here. +1 ship weapons is on the way now for uThermal. There's a Dark Shrine for ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE, a very good player with DTs. RoboBay's on the way too for ShoWTimE. He's going to be able to start making disruptors as High Templar become less effective due to the Ghost. And there is a bit of a fight right now, but oh man, this is not a good one for ShoWTimE. This is a disaster for ShoWTimE. We're going to need to see some very good Psystorms. There's 1, there's 2. Is there a 3rd? Yes, there is. This is really softening up the Terran bio, but it seems that the Medivac count in mass, which is just a ton of Medivac, is going to be enough to heal up this bio. Keep it going. Yamato cannon hits the Prism. There we go. That was a little bit overdue, but still good enough. A Battlecruiser goes down, but this was still a really, really great fight for uThermal, catching ShoWTimE off guard. This High Templar is running away. It doesn't have Storm energy, though, so it's going to be caught. A few units are running around for ShoWTimE trying to stay alive, but man, uThermal is in complete control of this game. ShoWTimE, he does have that RoboBay finished up, so I imagine we should be seeing some disruptors fire up soon. He does have that Dark Shrine done now as well, so he can warp in some DTs, but look at the resources lost. It really speaks volumes for the trades that have been happening this game. I'm not going to equate it all to the Battlecruisers. I think uThermal has played a good game aside from that, but yeah, the opening really set ShoWTimE on the back foot a little bit, and then just having the BCs in the fight, I think was a part of the equation that ShoWTimE's not usually used to dealing with. One of the Battlecruisers is dead now, though, so the game will normalize a little bit, but ShoWTimE's unit composition is still not ideal. He's got 22 Zealots, 2 Disruptors, and 5 Stalkers. DTs can now be warped in for ShoWTimE to help out, but I'm still pretty confident in this game for uThermal. He's getting up a 5th base, too, I was just about to say. Is there a 5th on the way? Yes, there is. Advanced Ballistics are on the way now for uThermal, so he's going to have his Liberators be even more effective. Disruptor Shot does hit a good chunk of the bio that uThermal has, and uThermal is in a bit of a choke point right now. He's got his Liberators kind of back into, or not at the best angle for him. ShoWTimE's engaging into bio. Reinforcements are getting picked off. Stalker's getting underneath the Liberators. He's going to help pick most of them off. ShoWTimE is forcing uThermal to split his bio. It looks like this was an overcommitment from uThermal, as most of his army is going to be cleaned up, and ShoWTimE is going to take the supply lead, as that was a really, really good fight for ShoWTimE. Not a good one for uThermal at all. Overcommitting there, having his Liberators really facing only one way. Oh, the Widow Mines, though, are gonna kill 2 Disruptors as they recharge. That was a massive, massive victory for uThermal. A massive pickup there. 2 Disruptors, a whole cycle of the Robo's production. Now these mines are gonna waddle on in, be a pain, then they're gonna burrow. They don't have drilling claws, but they are still invisible thanks to that. ShoWTimE now got to deal with this Widow Mine, which is going to recharge, get a shot off on a very, very clumped up probe count. How many is that going to get? Oh, nice connection there. ShoWTimE tries to throw down a cannon even for a second, but the Widow Mine actually stops it. That mine will recharge before the cannon is done too, so ShoWTimE has to come all the way home to deal with that. We see uThermal, he's got a Liberator flying to the left. Seeing the 6 base going up for ShoWTimE. And this game, yeah, it's just continuing on, a late game TvP, but I think things have actually really turned around here for ShoWTimE. He's got a great economy. His army supply is up compared to uThermal's, where he's been down most of the game, and he is just a fighter. The Widow Mine's gonna reburrow, be a massive pain in the backside of ShoWTimE. But yeah, uThermal, I'm a little bit concerned for him. He's making Liberators, which is good, but the late game Protoss army is still very tough to deal with. In goes these Marauders. They're going to tag one of the Disruptors. Going to have to split against the second. 2 Marauders go down to the Disruptor, at least getting a little bit. Helping pay for itself. DT, realized by uThermal, going to be scanned and picked off. Widow Mine still being a pain. This mine still being a pain. Really giving ShoWTimE a bit of grief. The Protoss player is getting up a Stargate, though, so he'll be able to throw up a Fleet Beacon, maybe make an Oracle for Revelations, make Tempest, whatever he prefers. DT blinks on the way, Shadow Stride for ShoWTimE. And overall, this is just looking much better for ShoWTimE as time goes on. He's got that 6th base up. It's a little bit harassed by this Liberator right now. His 7th base attempt was just canceled, and this game could be getting a little bit crazy here as we're heading into a bit of a base trade as ShoWTimE attacks while uThermal attacks too. I think uThermal's got a bit of a head start. He's splitting his bio, but he's got to work against the Psystorm, against the DTs that ShoWTimE has. It looks like uThermal's first base has fallen. The Disruptors and Protoss army now coming towards the 3rd base. That 3rd base is going to be targeted down right away. Both players taking big losses. Economically, ShoWTimE's lost 3 bases. uThermal has now lost 2. He also lost one of his command centers, notably, so there goes a scan, which uThermal needs. uThermal might be pulling his bio back, looking for a good fight, and I think that could be exactly what he needs. It looks like the Disruptors for ShoWTimE actually, were they recalled or what? Did those Disruptors just get picked off? I'm not sure, but this is actually looking much better for uThermal all of a sudden. This Protoss force does not have any AoE with it now until these Disruptors show up, but I still think that uThermal can maybe take this fight. He's got to be careful to avoid the Novas. He keeps his PF alive as well, which is very important, but here's the big surround from uThermal. He's going to target down a Disruptor, but then he kind of second guesses himself, doesn't actually target it down, tries to split. In comes uThermal from all sides. The Disruptor's getting some connections, but not enough. The Protoss army is gonna melt away, and ShoWTimE is being pushed on home. ShoWTimE being pushed on home to what, though? He doesn't have a 4th base. He's barely mining. He's warped in some DTs to try and make magic happen, but EMP's hitting the DTs, revealing them. The Stalker's doing what they can, but it looks like there's gonna be just a little bit too much Terran, and ShoWTimE does tap out as uThermal is able to take the game off the back of a battlecruiser rush. Oh, wow. What a match. I do have to rewind a little bit, though, just to see what happened to the Disruptors that were in this army. Where'd they go? Yeah, there's all these Disruptors here. I'm not sure, did uThermal target them down or what, or did ShoWTimE recall them? What did ShoWTimE do? I think he might have been planning on... I think he might have recalled them or sent them back just so that he'd be able to try and get big Disruptor hits on the attacking army. And yeah, he actually sends them home, interestingly enough. Just walked them home. I kind of missed that. But uThermal, he kept his production going enough, so he actually got up a good chunk of bio at home as well, whereas ShoWTimE's was kind of thrown into disarray a little bit. uThermal keeping the Terran production going while that attack happened was really important. And in the end, yeah, just well played by uThermal. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a battlecruiser rush. I'm not sure how many likes I said, or if I said any. Can we hit 100 likes for uThermal going for a big old battlecruiser rush and winning the match? If you made it to the end of the video and you're not subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe. Help grow the channel. And get your daily Starcraft 2 while you're at it. Join the Discord, which is linked down below. Everyone's pretty darn friendly there. And then, of course, consider becoming a member if you do want to support the channel. Of course, that's completely optional, though. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.